and we're live now. So don't say nothing because why she tearing? Oh yeah, they can hear us. Shh.
Do you hear that?
I just feel like this takes forever. Oh my god, it's still 35 seconds. I turned my head for like 2 minutes already. Anyways, sorry. Oh yeah, they can still hear us. Shh. All right, 25 seconds. Let me fix my hair. Shut up, don't hate.
Get ready for the Brown and Proud show.
Dun, dun, dun.
No.
It should be.
I said taco.
I said a hip hop cubole. No.
Dang, we messed that up. That was a cool intro though, huh? You guys liked it that? So anyway, welcome to another episode of Stay Brown Podcast. Man, we got the crew with us today. Check it out. So welcome in everybody as you slowly enter. We got I'll let you guys say your names. Introduce ladies first.
Hey, I'm Lala. I'm out in Las Vegas under Brianna's chapter. And yeah. I'm new here.
And I'm Coyapaki Chtacat. I'm out of here of Southern Utah. Southern Utah's Brown Beret National Organization chapter. Such a mouthful to say. But
man,
out here representing.
And I'm Carlos Aguilar, better known as Carlos Tacos. It's funny, I'm out here in the Bay Area, California. So, Bay Area, shout out. Represented out here. So anyway, what is up with you guys? Let's start with Lala. What's going on with you?
Put me out there.
I sure am.
Yeah, so we're out here in Las Vegas. We're hopefully starting to organize. We have an event that we're working with the Black Panthers out here. Gonna be Black Love, Brown Pride. And we're gonna get the details soon. But we're gonna do a community barbecue in the community garden that we have. We'll have a DJ that's known here in Las Vegas. That's a Panther, and we'll hopefully have some vendors and some art set up, and we'll see how it goes. Nice. We're getting out there trying to get new recruits. Like I said, here in Vegas, there's 3 of us and 4 total in Nevada, 3 berets in the Las Vegas area.
That's what's up. Man, you said Black Love. You brought me back because I'm in the Bay Area now, past 20 years, but I was born and raised in Venice Beach. And over there, there's a lot of vendors. If you ever been to Venice Beach, one of them would sell incense. And my favorite incense back then was called Black Love. So shout out Black Love incense. So anyway, Taka. I ain't going to say your name. I know I'm going to mess it up.
It's okay, brother.
Brother Taka, what's going on with you and what's going on in Utah?
Man, just same old police state, always being observed and reported on.
For reals, right?
Yeah, no, people just they love snitching out here. It's like it's a hobby they do, It's like 8 o'clock and you're walking in your neighborhood, and then next thing you know, you got the cops rolling up on you, like, "Hey, what are you doing? Walking?" I don't know. Just another day in the neighborhood.
Dang. So I was in Utah when I was trying to get away from LA. Shit. So I went all the way to Clearfield, Utah Job Corps. Long story short, what I wanted to ask you was when I was 18, we would go to Salt Lake City, the big mall over there and all that. But back then, I don't know if they still do it, but back then, for us that smoked cigarettes, you couldn't just walk the sidewalk and smoke a cigarette. You had to look for a circle. There was a circle, a little circle, like a little 10-foot circle, and you had to smoke in that circle or you would get in trouble. Is it still like that?
I don't know. I never had that issue yet. I mean, I know they're really picky about like smoking around the park and all that, but I haven't had to go like to a designated circle and smoke right there. So that's interesting,
right?
though. That's interesting.
Came from.
Right?
Right. Man, I tell you, and then they don't got liquor stores over there like we do over here.
No,
They got
no.
um, they got
We don't
stores.
even have a last call over here.
Oh damn! Oh,
No,
you're
yeah, we
It's
Vegas shit.
24 hours.
everything shuts down here at like 9 p.m. Like we have
All right.
two state liquor stores, and they close down at exactly like 10 p.m. exactly. So you got to get there at exactly 9 o'clock on the dot.
Don't they
Have
keep
your ID
tabs
ready.
with? Don't they keep tabs with how much you got, liquor you get, and all that?
I think they, as long as you're not like tipping over and causing any trouble, they don't give a shit. So
Damn.
yeah.
And even at restaurants over there, you can't get like an extra glass of wine or something. You can only get one, huh?
Well, you can get, you can drink, you can keep drinking and everything. It's just you have to order food. So it's like, as long as you got food on the table, they'll bring you glasses. So
Dang, that's a trip.
yeah. So I only order like a side dish, and then I just eat like one potato, and I'm like, all right, give me the ATF real quick.
Rita.
Hello, hello. Hi,
Yo,
Oh,
everyone.
yo.
so
Hi, Rita.
no camera yet, huh?
No, I'm in a weird spot. Sorry.
Oh wow! Now I'm gonna be thinking this whole show now. What's the weird
Oh my
spot?
goodness. That would be all the focus, the spot.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
okay.
there
You
you
seen
go.
my dog was barking.
Tune in
Mute
next
it.
week,
Oh,
folks. So now you guys got to tune in next week to see what spot she was in.
oh my
Ah.
goodness.
Now you got to come back. Don't even tell them, Rita. So anyway, we're
Okay.
introducing ourselves, uh, and Taka was talking about Utah where he's at, and we kind of went like uh, on the side right there, talking about how smoking in circles, and you can't smoke on the sidewalk, in the cities over there. I mean, that's how it was when
Oh,
I was
wow.
there. But yeah, so he was just letting us know what it was like out there. So go ahead and let us know your name and where you're from and who you're with,
So
organization wise.
me, I'm Rita. Got it. So I'm Rita, Brown Beret National Organization, and I'm in Watsonville, California, Central
Watson,
Coast. Hmm.
beautiful. And what's going on out there that you guys are you got any events coming up, toy drives? I know a lot of toy
Um,
drives are happening
related.
in car clubs.
Yeah, related to brown beret stuff, not yet. There's a lot of stuff going on because I'm also part of a car club here. So we have our Christmas stuff coming up, but we're still planning a few things with the brown berets. Hopefully soon, so we could
Nice.
have a few things happening in the coming year. But right now we don't have anything planned yet. But I am supporting a whole bunch of people. I'm going to support your event and Victoria's event down in Bakersfield and stuff like that. So, yeah, we do need to get something going on here in Watsonville because there's a lot of like younger people that want to get the brown berets back up because that it was pretty active here back in the day. Like
Yeah, it was.
yeah, yeah.
That'll be
So a
good.
lot of people are asking. Yes, yeah. So yeah, I'm interested in getting that up and going. So
You can
hopefully
do it.
soon.
You want to give your car club a shout out? You can do it.
Well, it's family first.
Hey,
So and there's yeah. So there's several chapters all over the place. They're a
what
huge
you
family and yeah, they're super supportive. They're always down to help out the community and so yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be cool to get together and do something. And there's like I said, all the car clubs here are really super supportive. So I've reached out to several of the presidents already and they're just waiting for me to tell them what I need, where I need them to be, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, they're down to support always. Hmm.
nice, nice.
Hmm.
All right. So now we all wanted to get on our first subject because time flies by fast. I don't know about y'all, but we've already been talking.
No.
Like 10 minutes already. Wow. Anyway,
And I feel like
Taka,
we mentioned a lot of things before we started. So I
I
did
know,
want to mention
right? Like, dang, we'll do a
That we
recap.
filled up on bread and soup.
So Las Vegas, BBNO has collabed with the Black Panthers. So we're gonna do Black Love, Brown Pride. Brianna has reached out and we met with them yesterday actually, or the day before. And we're gonna do an event. I do believe it's the 25th of January. We're gonna do a barbecue, and we have a DJ, and we'll have a stylist that does hair for us and music and events. So we're still working on that, and we're super proud. We would like anybody who wants to come out and join and show support. We would love the berets to be there.
Nice.
So we'll get more details out
Nice.
soon.
Cool.
wait.
That's awesome.
So Taka, I know you wanted to address some issues or some concerns.
Yeah. So, like, just wanted to kind of touch base on some of the stuff that's been going on, like, historically wise, up until like this point right now with all the political upheaval that we're seeing right now. But it's basically I'm gonna try and cram down. I kind of wrote everything down a little earlier, but I'm just kind of cramming down like 70 years of her history.
Oh,
But
dang.
just to kind of get an understanding of like why things are where we are right now with like Mexico and the Americas and all that, like North America and Latin America as well.
Sure.
But yeah, it's like it's just kind of crazy, like over history we've just seen so many different patterns, starting with like the Cold War and the US government, especially like the agencies like the CIA ran covert operations across the hemisphere, and like in Guatemala in 1954 they toppled the president like Jacob Arbenez. In Chile in 1973 they helped destabilize Salvador Allende, and then cleared the way for Pinochet, or if I'm probably butchering his name, but Pinochet in Nicaragua. And then they backed the Contras even when those networks were tied to drug trafficking. In Afghanistan, they armed like the Mujahideen groups to bleed for the Soviets, creating long-lasting instability, which, as we can kind of see, kind of ultimately led to what we saw on 9/11. We just kind of like the U.S. kind of came in and was like, "Hey, we'll help you get the Soviets out," and then we're like, "As long as we get that oil, baby." And then the Afghan people were like, "Get the hell out of our country," and dun dun, we have this whole issue going on, and that happens, right? So, kind of moving forward is with the whole U.S. domestic side of covert operations, either by the Bay of Pig invasion, where Cuban exiles trained by the CIA invaded Cuba, only to fail. Excuse me, only to fail miserably. Then the Watergate scandal, where operatives tied to President Richard Nixon broke into the DNC headquarters and tried to cover it up. Nixon resigns, and then the the only president to do so, to resign. So those aren't rumors, and so it's like this is all historical facts. So when Latin American people see weird moves like this that we're seeing right now, like boundary tests or foreign pressure today, they're not, our gente are dumb, they're not seeing conspiracies. So, it's just a continuation. And fast forward to Mexico cartel, to today with the cartels. The cartels didn't just appear out of nowhere. They expanded in the cracks created by the globalization, corruption, and the economic restricting that. Sorry, oh my gosh, I can't speak. Restructuring that hit Mexico hard in the 80s and then early 90s as well. And that takes us to the Carlos Salinas de Gortari, the president who pushed Mexico into neoliberalism, privatizing free market reforms, selling out public industries, and most importantly, dismantling Article 27, which protected indigenous communities and their lands. So it's like then from that we got from January 1st we ended up getting the NAFTA agreement, which goes into effect, and then Salinas' big project, and that next day the ELZN or the EZLN rises up in Chiapas, and they weren't fighting for globalization as in an idea, but they were fighting erasure. NAFTA meant indigenous land could now be bought and sold, mined, destroyed, deforested, exploited by foreign companies. So Chiapas said, no más, ya basta. And so we went into, the whole movimiento that they created in autonomous zones with schools, clinics, assemblies, and women revolutionaries and laws and political model totality separate from the Mexican party system. But that kind of goes into the whole thing that I wanted to touch on a little bit too with the political parties that are in Mexico, because I feel like we as Mexican Americans, or Chicanos, or, people that are just coming into this country, even though we move away from Mexico, that still has a major effect on us here today. And I feel like it's important to kind of talk a little bit about the different party systems that are in Mexico and how that affects us here. But do you guys know about like the different party systems? I think there's like 7 or 6 of them.
There's a lot. I'm familiar with like PRI, PAN, Morena. I know Morena Party is the one that's like kind of in charge right now, trying to change everything, socialist views. And of course, that's being targeted by PRI and PAN and a few others that have been in charge and been corrupt for decades, centuries.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's crazy because it's like the PRI is basically like el viejito, the elder, which we all respect, but it's like we can't trust them with our feria, because it's like we've seen what's happened in the past and everything, and we got like the PAN, the really conservative business aligned, they're more like kind of like trompistas, they like, they want to run the Mexico kind of like almost like a corporation, despite human cost and life. Yeah. So then and we also got like I think the PRD, which they're a left party, but they're kind of fragmented. But they were like really, really far left, I guess. But they kind of got destabilized. But then we got the
Probably
PV.
Infiltrated.
What was that?
Most likely infiltration, like in previous, like in history.
Oh,
guaranteed. We see it all the time. Even with the local groups here.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, it's like whenever we have a left-leaning party that rises up in Central America, South America, Mexico, a little too close to quote unquote home, the U.S. gets really uncomfortable, and they're like, oh, we can't have this. We can't have this. So they do all they can to make sure that, they start to fall apart. And that kind of leads me into this whole
right, what's happening now.
Exactly. With this whole protest, because we saw that weekend where all that Generation Z was like having enough with the corruption and everything, and they were trying to hold a peaceful protest, but then that really got taken over quick by the PAN and the PRI and these other organizations that we saw Presidente Fox there with like his Jolly Roger flag and everything, and I'm like, man, get the hell out of there, bro. Like,
what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, hey, young children, how are you doing today? I'm like, no manches,
you don't
man.
even go here.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Go take your aspirin, take a nap. So, but we saw
money
that
too. We know they have lobbyists and they have people that they go. We know that people were selling votes in Mexico a long time ago. We know it's still happening now. So, what's a protester?
Yep. Just like with Carlos Salinas, it's like I was saying how Trump reminds me a lot of that president right now. And I'm like, I wouldn't be doubting that fool is probably siphoning all his money, putting it in some kind of Swiss account overseas, where he's going to plummet the economy here, and we're going to kind of almost be in the same situation that Mexico was a couple years back, where it's fallen so far behind, and we, the people, are the ones that are going to have to pay the price for that, and we're going to have to, basically pull ourselves up from the bootstraps and really suffer for the next couple of years. But and then that creates desperation, and that's kind of what they want. They want people to get desperate and sign up so that they, have more people in the military. You sign up for the military, you get that conservative mindset, because everything about the military is conservative. So, and that's why they always target the poor and uneducated and and desperate. But
Yeah, and they're targeting the schools really hard right now too. I've seen people saying that there's like a letter going out that says if you don't opt out, they're automatically recruiting here in the United States. So, I mean, it's they're going really hard on recruitment.
no, it's bad. Like my kid almost wanted to join the military, and I was like, look, I'll respect your decision. I really hope that you would go into like college or go into a university or instead. But if you really want to join the military, I'll back you up. But I was nervous, but at that last moment, she was like, "Nah, never mind."
But it's financial reasons the only reason.
No, yeah, her whole thing was like education. She wanted to get a good education, and I was like, "Well, you can still get an education." So, but
when I was down in California, me and Bree saw a stand on Venice Beach that was Veterans Against War. And they had a lot of brochures and literature about the propaganda of getting children into war and the little boys playing with the soldier toys and the army tanks, and then like how they were like sitting ducks that we attacked Vietnam, and like all the corruption, and they were updating it even to the local events, and said they were going to make another book, and it was absolutely amazing to see the veterans that have been through this firsthand and that know, but more than anyone, the damage that it's doing to our youth.
No, absolutely. And it's a little sad too, because not only that, but it's like you also see how this is affecting, like we see how, so I'm going to touch on it a little bit, kind of like a same relating subject, but kind of in a different area. With like, I don't know if you guys heard about Peru and their issue with Mexico right now. Did you guys hear about that? That they cut off all diplomatic ties with Mexico.
Who is this?
Peru.
Oh, what?
I feel like it's in relation to what we've seen in the past with the history with like, right-wing militias and co-opt, organizations that are co-opting all these political organizations that are meant to do good, and then they, corrupt them and stuff later on, all the money and stuff. They were saying that they're the president right now in Peru, or like the prime minister. I can't remember what the official title is, but I guess he's running a kind of like a dictatorship. Like he's been voted out, and the people have voted for this one lady, and so she started doing like a protest, and they started hunting her down. So she asked for an asylum in Mexico, and Mexico was like, "If you can make it, you're welcome to stay here, and we'll protect you as best as we can." And so she did. She made it to Mexico, and then Peru was like, "Hey, man, you guys are interfering with like internal affairs of Peru. We're gonna have to go in and grab her." And Mexico was like, "You can try, you can try and get it." And Peru was like, "Bet, okay." And so then, almost immediately after that assassination happened with that mayor and Michoacan, and then all this stuff happened. And then we started getting
before that, because I didn't hear about anything about the ties in Peru. Thank you.
It was all happening almost at the same time, and then
it was a lot to digest.
Yeah, that happened, and then that protest happened, and they got co-opted, and then you had those people who were like, "Oh, we want Trump," and then check it, right? Almost immediately after that, that's when we hear about the whole sign situation that Trump sent the third-party affiliates, and they put those signs way deep into Mexico territory, like 12. What was it you said? 12 feet. 12 feet into Mexican territory.
And then they blamed it on climate change that they said they don't believe in.
I'm like, it's all patterns. They're obviously testing boundaries. They're pushing it. They're pushing the buttons, and
absolutely.
And it's obviously like what their play is. We've seen it. We can smell it. We can see it coming from a mile away.
But that's like an invasion. That's just asking for, asking for war.
It's sad. It makes me sad, because it makes me sad. And then like, this whole situation with Venezuela too. And it's like, who, as the president, it's like, who gives you the right to govern what's going on in that country You're not the police.
Right.
You're not the president. You're not God of that country.
And
Let
you're
the
killing
people
innocent civilians in
exactly.
open water.
I'm like, that's insane to me. I'm like, your overreach is getting out of hand, man. But
Mhm.
you know, I just like ultimately I wanted to bring all this up because I'm like, I think that we need to start kind of talking about these things and how we can come together and form more unity, you know, and protecting our communities because, you know, they're really starting to target us out there, not only here, but in Mexico. So it's like,
Mhm.
where are we gonna go, guys? You know, if we can't go back to the motherland, you know, it's like, and we can't kick it here. They're trying to make sure we don't got anywhere to go kick it. So
Yeah.
I just want to say really quick that the talking about politics is something that um, the Brown Berets usually typically like to stay away from, but it's so important though because it's part of it's all intertwined, and so it's relevant. We need to know our laws and what's going on and what's happening. It's relevant, and the best way to keep everybody protected, I mean, honestly, is by being educated as far as like the laws that we're passing, you know, the things that we're voting for, like what are we really voting for? I think a lot of the things that are in play right now, like the laws, a lot of people voted for them because they really didn't know what it was, what it stood for. And the president, I think that's in office right now, I mean, a lot of people
mhm.
voted for him and they're like, well, we didn't know he was going to do this. So, and we're all in this boat, you know? So I think we should talk a lot about this, even though it's a subject that it boring or whatnot, but it's important. It really is because it has a ripple effect and it ends
Yeah,
up, you know, the broader picture is scary if we don't, you know. So this is really really good. I'm really glad you guys are talking about this. So that's really good.
Yeah, because it's
Agreed.
really not boring when when you're hungry and you can't feed your family. So, and
Yeah.
education is a part of our brown book and keeping people
Yeah.
educated on what happened previously
Hmm.
and what's happening now, and seeing the correlations and being able to see and connect the dots
Yes.
and make a plan.
Yeah.
Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I don't want a repeat of exactly what happened with the whole, you know, they took us, round us up and sent us to Mexico. Then we have people that
Hmm.
went down in Mexico, grabbed those people, took them back up here, forced them to work on those
Yes.
farmlands at pennies an hour, and then we get
Yep.
treated like animales, you know, like with gas baths. And it's like,
Hmm.
hey man, like who do you think you are, man? Like, you know, we're human beings too. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want a repeat of all that. You know, I want our people to be able to be like, hey, I know what this party's about. And last time that, you know,
Hmm.
we have a history with these people that have hurt us and betrayed us. Because it's like how you're saying, you know, and the same thing with like Germany and during Nazi Germany, a lot of the people who voted for Hitler didn't know what Hitler was actually what was about. He tricked them and made them think that he was
Hmm.
going to help them out, that he was going to be all about
Hmm.
this and that. And so he tricked a lot of Jewish people even into voting for him. So that's happening here. We see our own people doing it, and it hurts and breaks my
Yeah.
heart too.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So I think what Lala said, that's absolutely correct. You know, education is absolutely a big thing, and we need to talk about it. You know, we need to bring it up, and these discussions are super important. So I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys are talking about this right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a really good topic. Rita, did you have a topic you wanted to
Mhm.
talk about? Not to put you
No,
on.
this is super interesting,
Yeah, it
huh?
is. It is. I didn't mean to
Yes.
put you on the spot.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if you had something to say,
Mhm.
you can add on to this conversation. We get down. It looks like
Yeah, come
no
on.
matter what we talk about, we already know. You know, and I've always heard, you know, knowledge is power, but
Mhm.
it's what you do with that knowledge that I think is the power. You know, and um, I feel so. I feel it's important that we're sharing this knowledge with people and what they do with it. You know, then I think the more we know, you know, then
We can only plant the seeds,
yeah,
hope that they
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
that you use this
Mhm.
knowledge for something and not just sit on it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah, 'cause
And
there's a
bringing
lot.
unity too, because
Yeah,
I mean, we have
Mhm.
division even within our own, like our units, yeah, our own like different
Mhm.
chapters, our own, like you said, raza.
yeah,
And I mean, and that was calculated. That's calculated so that we can, be divided. It's easier to conquer. We know this.
yeah,
Yep.
Language
Mhm.
separation. We're speaking two different colonizer languages. We're still trying to get back to our roots.
Mhm.
So we have to get rid of that division because it was planted there. You're just falling for it, you
Yep.
know. And
Mhm.
also, on a spiritual side, Spirit's been telling me that we've changed from fear to anger is their currency that they want from us. They know we're no longer afraid of them.
Mhm.
The currency that they're trying to take from us is anger. And we can feel the change inside of our body. We know that. People are getting
Mhm.
Hmm.
angry.
Mhm.
People are shooting. I don't know about your neighborhood, but my neighborhood is on and popping.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, so
Mhm.
we know it. So we ourselves have the responsibility to remember ourselves. I used to have be aware, not afraid, be aware, not afraid. But since the currency has changed, I have to remember to be grateful, not angry, So
Mhm.
that's something we have to work in our own groups, our own neighborhoods, and branch out to make it a way of life, you
right.
know.
Mhm.
Preach, preach.
But and it starts by like seeing those differences, like you said, calling it out and seeing, like you said, one's, you're in a military family, so no, we know you're conservative. You work here, so you're probably stable. So this isn't, no, but we're all one and one people. And if this stuff's going to come down Clapton, it's going to affect all of us.
Mhm. Exactly. Yes.
Most def.
Mhm.
But we can't break each other down in the meantime. We have to remember that's exactly what they want.
Yeah,
I agree.
and a lot of people
And
fall for
also,
that.
Mhm.
So,
they
so
do. We do all the time, but every moment we could change. Every moment, every moment. We don't have to wait for the
Mhm.
next day, next week, next year, next nothing. You know, every
I,
moment we have the ability
Mhm.
to change that inside of ourselves.
I
So,
feel
and
that
I
social
love that.
media is very influential in directing how they want us to go. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, we have cell towers. We have blue rays. We have a lot of stuff that like affects our energies, other people's energies. The media, everything that they're shooting out to us. But our power is to control that.
Yep.
right?
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, she's
And
Exactly.
I thank you for educating us also about like things that are going on in Mexico. Because, like you said, if it comes, we all know we want to stand our ground, keep our land, get our land back. But if it comes, they're right now saying like we can already discriminate based off color, based off the way you speak. If we end up in Mexico,
Mhm.
which like I said, my best friend, my kids' dad just went through this. He was here since he was 9 years old. We're talking about the difficulties, the transition. Luckily he kept up on government in Mexico. So, but like not all of us do. Not all of us know what's going
Mhm.
on, and we can't just go from one war zone to another one and be totally lost.
Hmm.
Mhm.
No, yeah, it's definitely like that same thing happened to my really good friend and business partner, Juan. Our business, the threaded just completely went under after Trump's administration. His green card kind of went up, and they gave him the choice of either self deportation or, you know, get deported. And so he was like, "I'll just self deport." And it's
Yeah.
been such a huge culture shock and just like a whole different
Mhm.
change from what he's used to, and he's struggling. Like he loves it and everything, but it's just, he's built a whole life here. He hardly speaks Spanish anymore. He was here since he was like 8 years old, if I remember correctly. So it's like,
Yeah.
so it's hard for him. I can only
Difficult.
imagine. So
Yeah,
no,
so I mean, just to prepare ourselves, and if getting paperwork situated is a thing, helping each other out, getting dual citizenship, talking to your
Mhm.
local consulado and UCLA, or I always say that backwards. I'm dyslexic. Uh, you know what I'm
ACLU,
talking about.
I got you. We
Yeah,
got you.
yeah.
the ACLU.
I don't got you.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
ANLU for resources. Yes, thank you.
I'm kidding. I got you.
Yeah,
No,
appreciate it.
yeah.
But yeah, and if anybody needs help
Yeah.
too, like just reach out to any of us and we're willing to help.
Now that you say that, I recently had to do all that. I was working on getting all my paperwork ready because I'm literally waiting just to get booted out. So
I
in
feel
the
you.
beginning, yeah, in the beginning, I was scared. I really was, because oh boy, I was thinking about, what's going to happen to my sons if they end up coming for me. So, oh boy, that was a lot. That was really a lot. That was really tough. But
Yeah.
a good friend of mine said, you know what, just what you're going to do is you're going to go and get all your paperwork together. So I was, going to El Consulado here in San Francisco, like getting my CUR, getting all my information, all my documents that I needed in case it happened. I knew what I needed to do. My sons knew where that folder was. And, because again, I was born in Mexico. I'm not from here. So it's like a real sorry, this is very touchy for me, but
No, it's very
it's
scary.
it, it
And
is
you
scary.
make
And
a
then
family plan, and I would also say reach out to the BBNO, make a plan as well with them, and people to contact if you were to be separated. I have like a plan that if I'm
yeah,
separated with my children, stuff like that. So just to be just
yeah,
to be
there's a
prepared.
few.
You'll never be emotionally
Yes.
prepared, but you can at least prepare yourself for the motions that you have to do
Hmm.
while you're doing it.
Yeah,
Because it's
there's
hard.
I think it is. I mean, I have seriously like set aside like money in the bank and things like that for my sons to have access to. And, I ended up buying a little house in Mexico, and because it's my brother got deported as well, and he struggled. It was difficult. It was scary. It was a lot. So I'm like, I don't want that to happen. And mainly it was
Yeah,
scary for me to see how scared my sons were, and so I
yeah,
was like, if this happens, this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. But
yeah,
but really I'm not, you know what I mean? Because this is home, even though I'm
Yeah.
not from
mhm,
here. This has been home. So, but
yeah,
yeah, and there's a lot of families that are going through the exact same thing. So and again, it does make me really upset that a lot of our own people voted for this. So then when I see one of my friends that voted for this administration, um, their dad got deported, and we got into a huge discussion about that. And literally I was like, well, that's what you get, kind of a thing. But then I was like, I can't be like that because it's affecting all of us. Like, we have to just help each other out, like we're in it now. And now we have to just figure out how we're going to keep each other safe because, people are being kidnapped, families are being destroyed. Like, we have to just stick up for each other. So, yeah, it's
yeah,
scary. It really is. Yeah. But
yeah.
I agree with what you said, Lala. Like, we can't let that fear
Yeah,
just
be
grab
aware,
a
not
hold.
afraid.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
And I
Hmm.
know when
And a
this
lot of
first,
people,
oh, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it. And at first, when this first started with ICE and all that, I know organizations like the Lotus Huerta were giving out these red cards. Did you guys see these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing your
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I gave out a
Hmm.
lot of them.
Oh yeah, we're still giving them out. These were in
Yeah.
English
Hmm.
and in Spanish. So, like again, the more you know, it's very important. So,
Yes,
Mhm.
wanted to throw that out
exactly.
there before I forget. But go ahead, Lala. Sorry.
Well, you're fine. You're fine. I was just gonna say, like, luckily, you're blessed. I'm glad that you do have the preparation that you do have, but if it comes down to the points where even like the Chicanos or people that don't have roots, a lot of us don't have roots in Mexico. Some of us don't have family in Mexico.
Hmm.
Some of us don't know where we would go. So we've
Hmm.
got to make plans for that too. And also what I've mentioned a lot is I mentioned this back in February. I think it fell on deaf ears, but uh the children that are being left behind when people were deported,
Yeah.
they don't know where to go.
Hmm.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
have kids even in my neighborhood, my kids at schools and stuff. I'm like, are you okay? Like, come to us, like you
Yeah.
don't know what's going on. The kids are not going to say anything because they're afraid that something's going to happen to them. We need to do something about something that's not associated with the police or child services, because
Yeah.
they like to get their hands on us and
Yes.
and help save our children. Because I just recently in September flew to Ohio and to meet my sister, and her mom is a foster mother, and she only takes in Latino children. So she only takes in people who, the kids who's, well, not only, but like they give her children who speak Spanish because she speaks Spanish, and in Ohio, not a lot of people speak Spanish. So, I ran into situations, and there's a lot of situations, but that woman told me straight out of her mouth. She had a pregnant 13-year-old girl from Guatemala, and I
Oh wow.
translated for her. Yeah, and her sister were being trafficked from
Oh my gosh.
Florida all the way to Ohio,
Wow.
and she's gonna be deported. The 13-year-old is gonna be deported, and
Oh
the
wow.
foster mom told me that they want to take her baby and bid it off to, this is her
Oh
words,
my
she's
gosh.
from a white woman. She said they're going to bid that baby to the highest white man that bids.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
that was from a white woman. And so like there's problems. So like internally she didn't know what to do. She came to me, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm bringing this up
Mhm.
because if I'm hearing this, and this is in little tiny towns in Ohio, it's going on. It's going on everywhere.
Yes,
Right.
yes, it
So I feel
is.
like
Yes.
somehow we need to step in and save the kids. We need to save the babies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I don't
I
know if
wanted to,
anybody is, like I said, I don't want it to fall on deaf ears. I try to do as much as I can when I find out what happens. But like if our organization was involved, so we're not contacting like the insiders, them, I think that would be a good idea. Like a phone
Mm-hmm.
number, a hotline for the kids to call, something. You left alone,
Yes.
a
I
safe
wanted to
place.
add, I wanted to add real quick. I work with an organization out here called Manos Amigas, and we've been able to help a lot of people get in contact with their loved ones when they get locked up, and kind of get them in contact with maybe even a lawyer, and getting some funding to kind of get things started out here.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything ever happens, feel free to reach out over here too. We can try to help you out as much as we can. And touching on that with what you were saying with that girl, that's true. That's been happening for a while. And here's the kicker, man.
Yeah, I
There's
saw it with my own eyes. It's like in real time. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
like the crazy
Wow.
thing about this is that it's so deep, and it goes so deep that it goes to like the medical industry. There's
Yeah.
asylums,
Mm-hmm.
like mental asylums, where they're keeping like BMed and stuff. They're human trafficking people that are not mentally well, and they're trafficking humans that are like in comas and stuff, and they're
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
prostituting them out, and then they trade them and they put them into different asylums, and then just label them off as crazy, or just think they're not able to take care of themselves. And that actually happened to a really good friend of mine who's Danae. She has a really tragic story. She called me out of Vernal, Utah, one morning at like 2 in the morning, and she said that she was being held hostage by a pimp. And I drove 6 miles or 6 hours up, and I picked her up and took her back up, down this way, and I tried to get her to the Dove Center, but she was so far gone that like she just didn't want to trust anybody, and she didn't trust the system. And she was saying that last time she trusted them, that she ended up in the same situation where she's in right now, and she just she kind of drifted out of my life. And I always think about her all the time. I'm like, and this whole missing and murder indigenous women
Yeah.
thing
Oh my
going on
God.
too. It
I've
breaks
seen
my
a few
heart.
girls, yeah, as well online trying to reach out, but it's almost like their thoughts are not in line enough to ask for the help that they need.
Yeah,
I completely understand. It's almost like a lobotomy or something,
yeah,
or
Mm.
some type of drug.
yep,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yep.
Um, but yeah, they're definitely targeting us. I have 4 children, and each time I had a child, when I marked down Indigenous as my race, they sent children's services to my house for each birth with
Wow.
no explanation. And I did a survey because it actually irritated me when I was in college, and I did a survey, and it was like 89% of Indigenous or Indigenous identifying or Latina Hispanic was called to their house
Yeah.
um,
Wow.
for investigations. And yeah, yeah. And then the MMIW, there's also there was some really weird group guy page that had made a comment back a few like a way back one of my posts with my war paint and like the MMIW camp print. and they had mentioned that I mean, it was like a troll page, but it was really disturbing. They were like, MIW is a hoax, trying to cover up, you know, trying to ruin the mining and the oil industry. And you know, he was the one that connected the dots for me. I'm like, oh, so you're saying that this, you know, is connected. And I went to his page, and it was just he was just antagonizing any woman, any indigenous woman he could find, and leaving just certain little comments. And I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, you hit a really good subject there. I have a buddy of mine who was giving me some information about that exact subject that you just touched on. They're called boy camp, and it's they go and recruit kids out of high school and middle school into working in these oil fields and promising them all this money that you're like, oh, you don't even have to go to college, bro. You can just make $30-$40 an hour, man, and you don't have to leave this campsite. We got women there for you. We got food for you. What else do you want? What else do you need? And they end up,
Yeah.
because they're so undereducated, they end up spending a lot of their money just right there, and they end up gambling it away, or, you know, using it on the women. And the women that they get from are unfortunately missing and murdered indigenous women, because they always find them around those areas. Always.
Yeah, so raising awareness is definitely a must, and also, I guess, counteracting that weird movement that they have.
Mhm.
And then I did notice some correlations with some like companies that I won't mention by name. Yes, stuck in a cycle in camps, exactly. Stuck in a cycle. But there were some companies out here that contract out into Utah, Arizona area, and I noticed that they this specific company works with white vans and white trucks, and they hire felons, which, you know, is a great thing. But most of them, I've noticed, I had a personal like in, and I noticed that they were specifically picking people with charges of like SA or child stuff, and severe cases, to go out there to pay them a lot of money to flag in the middle of nowhere. At the same time that a lot of girls were coming up missing, and that a lot of people were saying that they're last seen a white van or a white truck. Yeah, so groups of pedos in the mountains flagging for like $60 an hour when there's no traffic, and white trucks and vans, and children are being missing. Like, I have to say it to somebody, because I you know, I'm connecting dots here, and you know, it's like you can't just go tell the authorities, because we all know, like, I don't know if you guys saw the Wiggins, that family that found remains of the
Yep.
children in Arizona, Las Vegas, right on the Las Vegas border. I mean, they're basically in hiding in their own type of witness protection, and they're screwed. So, I mean, people will ruin you.
Yep.
These neighbors have planes and resources. So this has to be all of us that fights this battle.
Yes, exactly.
Awkward silence.
No, that was a beautiful moment of silence for
It
the
was a beautiful moment.
MMIWs and
It's like,
MMIPs.
that's that pause and think about what was just said. Yeah.
The
Yes.
digestion.
Or in the Bible it would be
Yeah.
Selah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the thought of like, what do I do? How do I help? How do I change this? You know, who can I reach out to? Yeah. Honestly, I think just talking about this, talking a lot about this is going to help, because somebody out there has an idea that is, you know, that can share resources with everybody else, because yeah, I think not talking about it is not going to help, you know? So
I mean, we had an MMIW here in Las Vegas in March, and I feel like I was screaming on deaf ears. It was probably me, Bree, and 3 other people that even knew. And I'm like, how is this not everywhere on the news, on the posters, like everywhere? She was missing from Fremont. Like, are you serious? And I would tell people on the bus. I would tell people, you know, like in the mall. Like, but this is the problem, because nobody is like. It's not even posted. We don't even get to the news until after when she was found dead. That's when they put her on the news.
wow.
Yeah.
Sad.
That's sad.
So her name was Rain. Her name was Rain. R.I.P. Rain.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not even touching
Mhm.
on the Native American, the Apache reservation and what they're going through, you know, with all those missing women out there. And it seems like the majority of them are from the same place,
Yeah.
option
Mhm.
center. But no, they didn't say nothing until like the 13th one. They didn't
Yeah.
mention the 12
Wow.
previous, and they didn't mention all the other ones after. The news just mentioned
Mhm.
one young lady,
They
you
skipped
know.
over it.
Mhm.
And the women out there are scared. I got a sister out there, and she's scared. You know, they don't know what to do. You know, people are missing, and then they find them
Well,
dead. And then they find them. The
Yeah.
one thing that they're forgetting to say is they're finding them dead the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, it's got to be. We got to start letting the people know, not just one time, the 13th time it happened. You know, it should be
Yeah.
justice for each of them. You know, we don't even know their names now. You know, there's so many of them.
right.
Mhm.
They need justice. They're scared.
Like Nicolette said, if they don't pay attention, it's like it never happened to them. And Bree said they're covering it up. Yeah, it's been covered up too. It's been covered up for a long
Mhm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And the thing is
Exactly.
too is that it's been systematically put this way that our men were, like, saying the truth, fell into alcohol and drugs, and those, that opens up the family to be vulnerable. We know that, and and vice versa, not in each part of your unit that's gone is going to make you vulnerable, and that's going to mess up your next 7 generations of wealth and success and education. We know that because time matters. If you have one parent, we know that makes a difference. You don't really have time to educate your children like you need to spiritually and live in this capitalist society and protect your family. So already being in broken homes, already having mental health issues that have been passed down from trauma, drug addiction, alcohol addiction. This was all systematically put here to be so that it's this way, so that we could be vulnerable, so that nobody could hear us. So we have to fix that within ourselves, because if our women are afraid, where are our men?
Mhm.
We need to be out there protecting, and our women, like, our people need to be protecting our people. We need to be out there in our berets and standing up for our people, just like the Panthers have been doing, because the cops are literally running them over and shooting them in the streets. So now
Mhm.
they have people on the streets, and they're asking the cops questions. What are you doing in our neighborhood? Is there a victim here? Because there has to be a victim for there to be a crime. You know that? Or else it's just a civil
Mhm.
citation. If there's not a victim here and nobody called you, you're actually supposed to go to the victim first. Why are you over here antagonizing somebody if there's not, you're not in imminent danger? So you're just antagonizing
Mhm.
us, and you shouldn't be here. We have the right to be free, and we have the
Mhm.
right to enjoy our and enjoy our domain, and we have the right to peace in our house.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
we have to be the same way, especially in the tribes and where they're at, because they're not, the tribal police are severely underfunded. They have nobody. They have probably like one officer, two officers doing everything. Whereas
Mhm.
I'm sure there's no type of um like, and because we cannot prosecute anybody if they're on our land, we can't prosecute somebody that's not a tribal member. That needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
If they can,
Yeah.
that needs to be fixed. Why cannot, if you're on our land, it's just should just it's sovereign. Just like if you're in another country, if you commit a crime here, we should be able
Mhm.
to we should be able to uh, uh, not punish, but you know what I'm saying, like
Right.
reprimand
Yeah.
you, and you should not be able to leave our territory until you've paid for the consequences, because
Mhm.
this has happened for way too long. It's a big loophole.
Is that like
Mhm.
fall under like diplomatic immunity, like in the old?
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah, because the tribe, so the tribal police are in charge of the res, and the police that are on the line, they don't have jurisdiction. So
Mm,
they're saying they don't help us because they don't have jurisdiction. And then we also, if somebody commits a crime on tribal land, they can't we can't try them. Like, we can't try them. That's not okay.
that's
As
crazy.
far as I'm because I've been listening to like actual victims and mothers of MMIW, and this is what they're saying. This is what they are saying.
That's crazy because we sure did try them back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We had
It's
our own-
crazy because there was this, touching on that whole subject, like there was this whole incident that happened on the reservation, and I can't remember if it was in Minnesota or South Dakota that it happened at, but it was a Dollar Tree, like a Dollar Tree business where the tribe had agreed to put this business on the reservation, but it's technically like it's like a weird loophole, right? Where they only wanted like a white male Caucasian pretty much running that business, and so they only had that guy working there. So it was denying jobs for the people that were on the reservation. So it almost defeated the purpose of having that business there on the reservation. But this guy that they put him in charge, right? He was a convicted child molester. And what
Oh
did he
my
do?
God.
He repeated the same thing, and he ended up repeating the same thing with a child there. And what happened? He got off scot free because he was on the reservation, and it was this
Oh my,
whole legal loophole. Yeah, and it was some BS.
Telling you, it's still
that's
a problem
so,
now. Like, I mean, that's why I wanted to reach out to you guys, because I don't want to be wrong, but I don't think that I'm wrong, because I like, there's a YouTube of MMIW where the moms and the aunts and the family members are on there, and that's that's what they've been saying. Like, we can't get justice. We can't
Yeah.
even get justice.
Yep.
So
mhm.
So like, I just want to say to all the people out there that are saying, "Oh, you guys get everything for free on the reservation and this and that," I'm like, please educate yourselves, y'all, because not every tribe,
Mhm.
signed a treaty. Some of them are still unrecognized to this day. And they're
Yes.
still here, and they're still going through a lot of crap. So it's like, and even on the
Mhm.
reservation, still, it's like, it's hard out
it's
there,
like
man.
it's like being in a camp. You're under restrictions, you're underfunded, you're
Yeah.
in poverty, you're in a loophole where you
Mhm.
can't get out. It's the projects.
Yeah,
It's basically different projects. Some are
Yes,
better
it
than
is.
the others, but they're projects. And that's exactly
Mhm.
what it
Yes,
is.
it
It's
is.
like a project for them, something to have fun with, study, see what they can do, manipulate, how far they can
yep,
go, how far they can take it.
Mhm.
So while people have their version of what they think the res is, there's the reality of what we know. And then we also know that they're destroying all the natural resources, and they gave them dead land anyways.
yep.
Yeah.
That was their whole game plan. Take everything that they can, and then just leave us with like the bare minimum, even if that, at most. I mean, some
Yeah.
places like on the Navajo Nation don't even have electricity or running water.
Or running
Yep,
water.
Yeah.
There's people that still don't have
Yeah.
running water, that have
Yeah,
to
that's
have
in
so
the
true.
U.S.,
volunteers that come in and
Mhm.
bring water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's
You
only getting
need
worse.
them.
It's only getting worse,
Yeah.
especially right now with this whole water crisis that we're slowly leaning into, and
Yeah.
privatization of water and fresh water and all that. It's gonna be
And
like Bolivia.
AI using all the water too.
Yep,
And I've seen a lot. I love how everybody wants to be proud of, like, our indigenous roots, and try to get the AI pictures of what our ancestors would look like, but we really have to stop making those.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
because
Mhm.
we need the water. We have to educate our, and sometimes it's our elders too that are sharing a lot of stuff on, face, and kind of just use it as a talking point to bring it up, like, hey, AI is kind of bad.
Mhm.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Or using chat GPT to ask stuff about, stuff we could ask our elders.
There you go. That. Yes. Mhm. Wow.
Yeah, the
Let's think
water. I
about.
know, Nicole, the water. Scientifically proven. I know, but they don't believe in science
Mhm.
or spirituality.
Here we go.
Go back away.
Oh, we love you too.
Thank you. And then,
It's been an hour. That's crazy.
right? Oh, I know. I knew you guys were going to do good. Yeah,
Mhm.
great. What do you guys
Yeah,
think?
it's been a great conversation.
Oh, I
Global
already said
warming is real, people.
global warming is real, people.
Well, they said that when they went to the Mexican border, and they said that the 12 feet was due to the shoreline moving, but I guess they're
You guys killed it.
I mean,
Their math is not mathy.
I'm gonna see if I can ask this Danae brother to hop on this next time, because he has something to say about this whole climate issue that's going on, and he has some really interesting information about how the poles have shifted in such a way where, you know, it's snowing in Mexico and all
I
this
would
other stuff.
love for his knowledge. I would love that.
Yeah, really interesting guy.
There we go. You got him rewatching the show now. Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. And again, this is every week, Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, but Tuesday,
Taco Tuesday.
3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So tune in next week to find out where Rita was for this show. God, I thought I forgot.
Compromising situation.
We'll find out next week. So tune in.
The cliffhanger.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
What's our
Really
word
good
for the day
conversation,
in
guys.
Nahual?
Yeah,
Ooh.
word of the day in
Yes.
Nahuatl.
Word for the week.
Word for the week. Okay, I got something for y'all, and this is going to be something interesting because it's going to tie into our celebration for Tres Reyes. It's a little teaser. So, Olin Campa Cali. Olin Campa Cali. That means Movement of the Pueblo United.
Nice.
Ooh.
Wow. Awesome.
Olin
Love it.
Kapla Kali. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Alin Kapla
Olin.
Kali. Can you type it in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. I got you. I'll type it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's gonna type.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Any final words while he's typing, Rita, Lala?
No, it was a pleasure being up here. I appreciate you letting me, talk my talk.
Mhm.
Thank you for
This
being
was
up, Rita.
awesome. This was awesome. This was a really good conversation. I love listening to you guys, and you guys bring a lot of knowledge. Thank you. I learned a lot listening to you, so I appreciate you guys. So I hope that we have a lot more of these conversations because we need to hear what you guys got to say, and I love it. So thank you. Thank you for everything.
And for everybody out there watching, no script. We had a basic idea,
We
but
had no idea.
yeah, we were like, oh,
I'm
what
just
are we
kidding.
gonna talk about? Then Taka bounced.
We were gonna talk about Taco Tuesday.
Oh my gosh.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Taka, should we wait for Taka to say goodbye? Let's see if he comes back or what. Maybe 30 seconds. Anyway,
Oh no.
next week. We got a lot of stuff happening. What happened?
Lala left too.
Yep, she left too. Anyways, well, I guess they're all leaving. Well, thank you, Rita, for staying on with me. We guess we'll end the show. Shit. All right.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Okay.
See you next time. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.